Hey there, what's up? I have bad news. Remember the card game? I'm assuming you're familiar with the card game that I'm developing. If you're not, I'm developing a card game. It's called MOCA, Multiplayer Online Card Arena. And I'm going to have to abandon it and stop developing it right now. This is not an easy decision at all, but I made it now. And since I promised a lot of, I promised a lot of this game and talking about it and making videos about it, I'm gonna have to explain to myself. I'm gonna have to explain why I'm abandoning this after developing it for quite a long time. So I want to start at the top in how I even got to this. I'm a student of game design right now. I'm going through game design classes, and in one of our classes which talks about game design, we got to talking about balance. One of our assignments was to use a deck of cards, and the reason to pick a deck of cards when we talk about balance is because balance isn't only the actual gameplay elements, it's also evident in a lot of other fields in the game. And one thing that will almost always pop up when you're dealing with a card game is chance versus skill. So you have to properly balance chance versus skill, right? Because you draw cards in most cases, and that's completely random. So that's a good thing to balance, and you'll have to deal with balance issues in a card game, is what I'm trying to say here. So, okay, I have a deck of cards and I need to make up a game, whatever the hell that I want to do. And I really, really like card games, and I really like TCGs, trading card games. So I thought, I'm going to try and make a card game out of a deck of cards that you could play with any standard 52 card pack, okay? That may be 54 if you add in the jokers, or 56 if you add in 2 jokers per player. Just with that, make a game that feels like a TCG, like Magic the Gathering, or Yu-Gi-Oh!, or Pokemon, or most recently Hearthstone. Something that feels like that. And that's what was the initial thought, and clearly I could playtest it with a standard deck of cards, and that's what I did initially, quite a lot, with a lot of people, with my classmates, with my family members, with friends. I tested it out, it was a lot of fun, I kept balancing it and changing things, and I got to a pretty good result, and a game that I really believe is fun and is good. And I got really, really good comments from everybody. People who do play Hearthstone and Magic and have played those games in the past, and people who've never played a TCG in their life. And they still all liked it. So you know what? It's a pretty good game, and I really do believe that it's a pretty good game. Next obvious step, put it on the computer. And this is where the troubles start. I did not think ahead. I was really, really dumb, and hindsight is 20/20, but I didn't think about the architecture of the game, and I just kind of built something that, if I'll join the room, this is the matchmaking, the online version, right? And I just have it open twice here so I can actually show you and test it out, supposedly. But I made it so that you actually play, and when you finish your turn, okay, right now the opponent actually starts, but when you finish your turn and you click end turn, what you actually do is it just swaps. So essentially, if you were to actually play it, you'd finish your turn and then hold the mouse on the end turn button, then look away, and then click it, and then call the other guy. And that's clearly not possible. You can't really play this type of game without 2 computers, 2 monitors. So that's how I built it, and it worked. It worked fine. And then I got into the obvious next step is to put in networking, right? And I've never, ever dealt with networking in this sense, never dealt with networking ever in my life as a coder, so I didn't really know what to do, and I'm still kind of new to Unity, right? So I didn't know how to do it specifically in Unity. I got into researching that, and then testing all kinds of things, and doing all kinds of demos, and then actually implementing on top of what I already had. So I pretty much patched up network on my pretty shady architecture that doesn't really make sense anyways, and I was patching it on top of it. I was just patching on top of it. And this is not a smart idea. It was not built, the system that I had was not built for networking, and I was just kind of patching on top of it. And it was, a tower that was eventually going to crumble. This is eventually going to break down and just not work, because there's so many things that are just wrong in the sense of the architecture of the game and how it plays and how it works, the code. And clearly, if I go back, hindsight's 20/20, but it was terrible. It wasn't terrible. It is terrible still, because it hasn't been fixed. And what happened today, along the way, a friend of mine started helping me a little bit with the code. He's not really good in Unity, and wow, I'm at minus. That's impossible. So I still actually have errors in this, which is just incredible amounts of errors. It's not supposed to ever happen, but it managed to happen. What I was saying, it got to a state where a friend of mine was helping me, and today we were just both sitting, trying to look at the code, thinking about it, talking on Skype, and how the hell do we fix this? How do we solve this thing? And it's always the last thing. I mean, if we solve this, we're done, and then we solve this and we find something else, and then we solve this and we find something else that's kind of completely broken. We keep finding these things as we play test, and it kind of seems to never end. And though I want to say the next thing is over, I'll probably find something else. Networking is pretty damn hard, and patching on top of a completely different architecture, it just doesn't make sense. And the only way that this will make sense to continue developing this game is to take it from scratch. And let me tell you, if I'll take it from scratch, it'll take me 3 weeks or a month or a little bit over that, and it'll be pretty damn good because I know what I'm doing now. I know how to develop way better than I did when I started this. I understand networking really well. I'll start directly looking at the networking, so everything will be a lot better, a lot better. But this will take me 3 weeks to a month, and in 2 weeks, I start my third semester. And in my third semester, I have my first production workshop, and I'm gonna be working only on that. It doesn't make sense to split my time between this, which doesn't really have any current, implications right now, and a game that I really need to make for school, in a way. I'm not going to be able to work on this, and I'm not going to be able to start this from scratch. I'm just not going to do that. And that's just, it sucks, because I really do believe that this is a good game, and I really want to have this, let's say, in my portfolio, so I could show this to people. This is something that I made. I really believe that it's a good game, but I'm just not going to have it right now. I'm just not going to finish it right now. I might get back to this in the future. I really want to get back to this in the future, but currently it's going to sit barren, and nothing is going to happen with this. And that's also an important skill. You need to know when to make the cut and when to stop. When you need to stop, and we need to stop dealing with this, because it's just not going to happen. Keep on patching it up with this shady architecture. It's not going to work. It's not worth it right now, and that sucks. It really sucks. But yeah, you got to know when to let go, and that's it. This is the time to let go. And I do apologize, because I did promise quite a lot. I promised that I will, make a lot of videos about this and talk about this and look at the game design and see what people are saying. And I really want to do all these things, but it's not going to happen right now. It's just not going to happen right now. And again, it sucks. Definitely sucks. So, yeah, MOCA is goodbye, sir. Goodbye, game. I'm going to have to stop creaking. My goddamn chair started creaking. And, yeah, it gives me, I have like a week or so before I go back to school, so I have a little bit of time to do some other stuff, and I might do some other stuff, indeed, in this week and a half or so, but it's not going to be MOCA. This is going to sit on the side for now, and hopefully I will get back to it in the future. So yeah, that's it. That's MOCA. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm sorry, it sucks, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, as usual, and I'll see you guys next time.